I'm Alpha Trivette. Here's my 5-minute window on the world as I start the clock for you right now. And thank you for listening and or watching wherever you are around the globe. If you're new, then yes, I do have a global audience. Not a very big one yet, but we're working on that. You can help too, by the way. If you enjoy what you see here, please pass it along to your friends. Hopefully they'll begin to listen too. It's basically my 5 minutes to show you how brilliant I am, or how stupid I am, and that of course will depend on you, and your threshold of entertainment, your view of the world, your politics, and your sense of humor. So let's hope you have one as we proceed. I've got some wonderful news from around the world to share with you, but first I want to give you the Mind Expander. See, I do this in every show. I call it the Mind Expander because Albert Einstein said, once the mind is expanded by a single idea, it can never return to its original dimension. So I ask you a trivia question to bombard your mind with maybe one or two ideas, and hopefully it will not be in the same place it was before you started watching or listening. So here we go. 220 women were surveyed, and they said, guys, that on a first date they will size you up based on this. 220 women says they will size a man up on a first date based on this. What is it? Well, we'll have the answer for you in about 4 minutes or so. Now, the wonderful news from around the world. There may be a ban on vuvuzelas. Oh, you don't know what a vuvuzela is? Well, then you're obviously not a soccer fan. If you've been watching any of the World Cup matches, then you've heard it. You may not know what it is when you hear it, but you hear it, and you're going, what is that noise? It's a vuvuzela. It's a little plastic horn, or a long plastic horn, that soccer fans, for some reason, decided to blow during the entire soccer match. They started blowing this thing before the match starts, and they don't stop until it's over with, no matter whether their team's winning or losing. They're blowing this god-awful thing, much to your displeasure. There are some soccer leagues that are thinking of banning the things now. There are some TV networks that are thinking of not carrying games that have these vuvuzelas blowing on them. They want to ban them, and it's great. I don't know where it all began. Some guy must have shown up at a soccer match thinking, how can I be the most annoying soccer fan here? I know. I'll blow this plastic horn continually throughout the soccer match. Someone else saw him do that, and he said, hey, he can't be the most annoying guy. I got to help him out. So I'll blow this thing too. Next thing you know, you got half a stadium blowing on this thing, and apparently they've all perfected the Kenny G method of being able to inhale through their nose while simultaneously exhaling through the horn and making that god-awful sound. Wah! Kind of like a extremely large didgeridoo, or a didgeridoo, or a didgeridoo I wish you wouldn't, because in stadiums now it's reached the level of 127 decibels. Now, a jet engine is 140 decibels and almost at the level of human endurance for pain. So any ban on these things would be deeply appreciated. A little closer to home, the Gulf of Mexico, President Barack Obama is going to speak to the nation tonight. White House is calling it his finest hour. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope that there will be some sort of solution coming out of this. Meanwhile, Congress is grilling a couple of the executives from BP today on Capitol Hill. Congress will, of course, place blame directly on them, while, of course, avoiding any blame for themselves. They are always blameless, but at the same time, they usually don't come up with any solutions either. So hopefully, the president's finest hour will be tonight, and we'll have some progress made on fixing this situation in the Gulf, which seems to get worse every day. A couple of other politicians in the spotlight. One is a guy named Bob Etheridge of North Carolina. Just came out of a meeting with Nancy Pelosi, and a kid, probably a young journalist, came up with his video camera or his phone camera and says, why do you support the Obama agenda? Well, the guy immediately went into a rage, grabbed the kid's arm, kept asking who he was, eventually grabbed the guy's neck. Very embarrassing. He has apologized, but I don't know how that'll all work out. I have to admit, though, in his defense, if I just come from a meeting with Nancy Pelosi, I might be a little testy myself. Then there's Alvin Green in South Carolina. Not really a politician. He's an Army vet. He's unemployed, and he won the Democratic primary to run for Senate against Jim DeMint in the state of South Carolina. Now a lot of Democrats are calling foul. There's a lot of evidence to prove this guy is a bit of a criminal. In fact, one young co-ed said he displayed some pornographic material to her and harassed her, and she wants him arrested. And I guess the Democrats want him taken off the ballot. I would think that a guy going in with a criminal record would be considered an unfair advantage. I mean, being a crook before you become a senator, it's kind of like taking performance-enhancing drugs, isn't it? Yeah, sort of like that. All right, the answer to the brain stretcher, the mind expander for you. 220 women said, guys, they size you up based on this on a first date. What you order for dinner. Okay, I will have the list on my blog, so check that out. But apparently burgers and fries are okay. Lobster fillet, definitely good. Jambalaya, good. Chicken, not so good. We'll have the wheres and why-fors and all that stuff. And then, again, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope I've either dazzled you with my brilliance or confounded you with my stupidity. You be the judge. Either way, I hope to see you next time. I'm Alpha Trivette.